Welcome to Vancouver. It's the second half of our Scotiabank Wednesday night doubleheader as the Detroit Red Wings make their only visit to Vancouver, with the Wings now in the Eastern Conference. This matchup now occurs much less frequently. And Mike Johnson, a lot to watch for on both sides.
Power on power will be the story of the game. It's going to start the game that way, the Sedins against Datsyuk and Zetterberg. But the only way this was possible for John Tortorella and the Canucks has been the strong play of Mike Santorelli early on the season. Second line center allowed him to move Kessler up to the wing on the first line because he had an anchor that he trusted for line number 2. Without his play, Kessler wouldn't be up with the Sedins. They wouldn't be on the tear that they're on right now.
Canucks have 25 goals in their last 9 games, 13 of them from Kessler and the Sedins.
All right, boys.
And Danny DeKeyser, who is paired with Nick Kronwall to face Vancouver's #1 line, fires it down. Todd Bertuzzi with Pavel Datsyuk and Henrik Zetterberg, the #1 line for Detroit, with power on power. That pass knocked down by Kessler. Ryan Kessler in behind Kronwall, and Kronwall races back to muscle him off the puck. Back of the line, Dan Hamhuis bumping there with Bertuzzi, and the puck goes down to the Canucks zone.
Pretty good recovery by Kronwall there. He was in a tough spot. Looked like Kessler was going to get the edge and the break.
Lead pass for Chris Higgins. That's knocked away. And Dan Cleary wins that race to the puck away from Dan Hamhuis. Here's Cleary on it. Kind of left the Red Wings in the summer, then returned. Had tentatively agreed to a deal with Philadelphia, then had second thoughts and re-signed a 1-year deal with the Wings. Here's Cleary back with it. Puck loose at center ice and picked up by Kyle Quincy. He's being checked there by Santorelli. What a start to the season for Mike Santorelli, who came over from Florida. Signed a 2-way deal that would have seen him paid less in the minors. Didn't just make the big team. He is, as you mentioned, their #2 center. Steven Weiss to Jakob Kindl, and Kindl flips that down to the Canucks zone. Luongo leaves it there for Alex Edler. Bounce down to the Detroit zone. Kindl tried to knock that out and kept onside for the moment by the Canucks, but Brad Richardson couldn't knock it in. Across the line, Justin Abdelkader with the puck way up in the air takes a poke at that, and offside waved off. Joachim Andersen sends that down in front. That at the leg of Jeremy Wells should bounce wide. Now the puck is into where you are, Michael. Starting goalies are brought to you by Scotiabank. You're richer than you think. Jimmy Howard has one win his last 7 starts. Roberto Luongo is on a roll for the Canucks, 5-0-1 in his last 6, and a big night for Luongo facing off against Detroit coach Mike Babcock, of course, his coach here in Vancouver, the 2010 Olympics, behind the bench for Team Canada again in 2014. And Luongo would dearly love one of those 3 goaltending spots for Team Canada in Sochi. Draw one back to Kronwall, winds and fires, that goes just wide. And Babcock telling us before the game that he's seen top flight performances from a lot of Canadian prospects. Jason Spezza lit them up the other day in Detroit.
We know he's happy to have that job and proud to be the Canadian coach, but probably not too keen on seeing the top players in the NHL across the league being motivated to put on their best performance when he's in the building. Talking about Mike Smith, has stood on their head a couple times against the Red Wings. Jason Spezza, as you mentioned, he's getting everybody's best from Canada.
Here's Bertuzzi down low. It spins and shoots, and Luongo knocks that away. Back in front it goes, and it's knocked down by Ryan Stanton as the Canucks clear the zone. Vancouver had the best 7-game road trip in franchise history, going 5-1-1 as Bertuzzi kept busting in, and Luongo steers that away. And now the puck played in the corner, but a holding call coming as Tanev touches the puck, and the first penalty of the game will go to Dan Hamhuis as the Red Wings go on the power play.
Vancouver penalty number 2, 2 minutes holding.
Dan Hamhuis gets caught on the wrong side of Todd Bertuzzi, who gets away with a little grab. You see, Bertuzzi actually has Hamhuis' stick in his hand, and that's what Hamhuis was talking about. When you get on the wrong side of Todd Bertuzzi hips, that's a long way to get back around to the right side.
Weiss, Tatar, and Cleary, the forward unit for Detroit, as that penalty came at the end of a shift for the Datsyuk line. Here's Weiss with it, came over as a free agent in the summer. Jakob Kindl. Back to Weiss, the former Florida Panther, shoots at it, Cleary up high. And Tanev packs that ahead, kept alive by Kindl for Quincy. Kyle Quincy battling at the line, feeds that ahead for Cleary. And Cleary back to the point to Kindl. For Quincy, winds and fires, and Luongo gets a piece of that. Now Kindl back on it. Higgins had lost his stick. Here's Quincy back with the puck. Back to Kindle. Cleary standing in front. That long shot goes off his leg and wide. Edler battling for it now. Tanev feeds that across for Kessler. Canucks number 4 in the league killing penalties. Have 3 short-handed goals already.
John Tortorella likes to get his top players out there killing penalties, including the Sedins. Richardson's got a couple as well.
Datsuk drops it back for Kron. Well ahead to Pavel Datsuk. Off it goes to Bertuzzi. Centers it for Datsuk. Spins and shoots. A backhand shot goes wide. Broadwall feeds that around. And now Zetterberg throws it in front, and Kevin Bieksa fires it back down the ice. 40 seconds to go in the first power play of the game. Red Wings are winless in their last 4 games. They've been held to 2 goals or fewer in 8 of 12. And a bouncing puck right down in front along the mix. 2 stops on Pavel Datsuk. Now Daniel Sedin on the penalty kill had that bounce away. Now fired down the ice by Jason Garrison. Poked ahead by Zetterberg. He's got Bertuzzi with him. Henrik Zetterberg, one of 9 Swedes playing in this game for the 2 sides. Tangles there with Alex Edman. If you padlock the doors tonight until February, Sweden wouldn't have an Olympic team. That pass down the ice from Tanev. Icing called as the penalties expired. The shots on goal are 5-0 Detroit. Thanks to the early power play.
Successful kill, a couple tough spots on a broken play. The first one's a bouncer off the Bieksa stick, and then a little double touch from Pavel Datsuk off his shaft and off his blade. As Roberto Luongo makes a nice save there. Reactionary with his blocker to take the short side away. The broken play on Datsuk.
And now right up the draw, a quick shot taken there by Joachim Andersen. Stopped by Luongo. Back at the line to Kaiser, winds and fires. That shot blocked by Chris Higgins. The stick goes way up in the air. And now Tatar on it. Thomas Tatar spins. Matthews leaves it there. And we welcome those of you who are watching Toronto at Calgary. No score here in the early going in Vancouver. The Red Wings in. Applicator shoots. That bounces up in the air. Thomas Tatar can't find it. Vancouver weathered an early Detroit power play in which the Red Wings had 3 shots on goal. Detroit out shooting the Canucks 6-0 to this point. Now a lead pass for Archibald. If Darren Archibald couldn't knock that down, Joachim Andersen takes it away. It's been power on power in the early going so far. The Sedin line against the Datsuk line. As both coaches lean heavily on their star players. Dan DeKaiser throws it to the side of the goal, and Jimmy Howard had to poke that away. Now scooped up, played back by Welsh to Bieksa. And the shot by Stanton, loose in front. Howard got just a piece of that, and the rebound scored it away. Applicator rink line, and Drew Millers slides that down to the Vancouver zone. Here's Miller back with it. Back at the line, Brendan Smith. Steps around Archibald. Now Smith ended in the corner, tried to feed that back in front. Here's Miller with it down low. Taps it back to Quincy along to Smith. Smith shoots off a stick and wide. Patrick Eaves in the lineup now for Detroit. Back for Quincy. The line is Smith broke his stick and the puck rolls down in front. Eaves has not played yet this year due to concussion. So making his season debut tonight for Detroit. Red Wings without Johan Franzen, Michael Samuelsson, Darren Helm, and the Canucks with injury issues of their own. David Booth still out for them as Jakob Kindl plays it down for Datsuk. Here's Bertuzzi in the corner with it, battling with Tanev, who taps that ahead to Henrik Sedin. The NHL assist leader brings it ahead, along with Kessler and Daniel Sedin. Here's Daniel, rink wide, Dan Hamhuis in, puck at his feet, back hand shot, stopped by Howard. And a penalty now coming to Detroit. And the Vancouver Canucks will go to the power play with Scotiabank. Wednesday Night Hockey returns to Vancouver.
Bertuzzi into the box for slashing as he got caught on the back checking behind Dan Hamhuis. Slow developing, but the 2 slashes in on the hands right there. Draw the penalty, and Dan Hamhuis stays with the puck, gets a good opportunity. And now the power play down to 10% on the year, 28th in the league. They keep talking about good opportunities, just haven't been able to cash any goals. Goes to work.
Kessler won that drama right back down to the Vancouver zone. Canucks are 4 for 40 on the year. They're 2 for their last 28, and their power play was 22nd in the league last year, so it's not a first-year thing. Henrik Sedin tries to drop that back for Daniel, and now it's poked out by Joachim Andersen. Detroit's allowed 9 power play goals so far this year, as Henrik Sedin brings it ahead along with Kessler and Daniel. Across the line is Henrik, trying to weave his way through the traffic, and Drew Miller fires it down the ice.
The amazing part is that the Sedins are one of the most effective 5-on-5 lines in the league, and yet the same group which plays together 5-on-5 scores every single game, can't get anything done when they have the man advantage.
Kessler drops it back to Jason Garrison. And again, the puck comes free to Detroit and fired down the ice by Brian Lashaw. Alex Edler back to pick it up, averaging more than 25 minutes a game for the first time in his career. Chris Higgins, poke check there by Eaves, and the play's offside at the Detroit line. Tonight's game plan is brought to you by Tim Hortons, Canada's favorite coffee.
It's not very often we say this about the Detroit Red Wings, but better decisions with the puck in their own end, in the neutral zone. Less time, less shots against is their goal. And for Vancouver, it's about being aggressive on the forecheck, put pressure on the Red Wings, cause them to turn it over, and play that John Tortorella roll the lines over aggressive style.
And roll one line over and over and over again.
Well, he'll go about every other one with that group.
Burrows plays it back to Bieksa, across to Edler. Chris Higgins standing in front now as Bieksa drops it back to Edler again. And Santorelli, hard pass across. And a hard shot taken there by Alex Burrows, handled by Howard. Now Edler a drive and a skate in front. And Nick Kronwall off the boards. Ahead for Miller. Bouncing puck in front. Miller finally pokes it down to the Vancouver zone. 10 seconds to go in the Canucks' first power play of the game. Still no score. Shots are 6-2 Detroit. In comes Bieksa. The gunslinger, as John Tortorella called him. He says, I'm not sure what that means. But it's better than being called weird, which is what he said about David Booth. Brendan Smith pokes that away to chance now for the Red Wings, 3-on-2, but that's broken up very quickly by Ryan Stanton. And Brendan Smith back to Kyle Quincy. Tanev throws that through the middle of the ice. Quincy back for Smith. These two have had a hard time. They've been minus magnets this year, as Mike Babcock calls them, but he wanted to Kaiser with Kronwall out against the Sedins. Now Cassian Sitters it picked up by Henrik Zetterberg, and away comes Detroit. Zetterberg and Alfredsson together. Flip down to the Canucks zone as Garrison goes back and Zetterberg steps into him. Leaves for Alfredsson. Pokes it back to Kronwall. Nifty pass through the middle for Datsuk. Spins and shoots. That goes just wide. Alfredsson to Zetterberg. Back in front. The pass broken up by Daniel Sedin. Alfredsson to Zetterberg. Alfredsson spins away from Henrik Sedin. There's lots of Swedish Olympians on the ice now. Here's Daniel trying to go rink wide, broken up by Datsuk, and the play's offside at the Vancouver line. Daniel Sedin of the Vancouver Canucks on a roll, scoreless here in the opening period on Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey. Hey, what do you know? The Sedins are back on the ice. Here's Farhan Lalji with more.
Gord, all three members of that top line are in the top 4 among NHL forwards in ice time, all over 22 minutes a game. Now, much of that is on the penalty kill, which suits Daniel Sedin just fine. He says in the past, when the team got into penalty killing trouble, they were off for 5 or 6 minutes, then had to come out and double shift. It was tough to get into the flow of games. Henrik, meanwhile, says that at times when they didn't score, they felt like they had no usefulness in a game. Now they at least feel like they were able to contribute. As for their penalty killing strategy, Daniel says it's simple. Just do what other teams have done successfully against us.
And if you're a top player for John Tortorella, you will play a lot. In Tampa and New York, that was especially true. And you'll play together. Pavel Datsuk works his way in front of backhand shot, goes wide. Here's Zetterberg with it. Back to the Kaiser. To Nick Kronwall. Back in front for Zetterberg with a chance off the mask of Luongo. And here's Bertuzzi with it. for Zetterberg. Sends it back door to Kronwall, who comes streaking in. And Luongo knocks that centering pass away, but Dantsuk backing up at the blue line keeps it alive. Zetterberg back with it. Spins off Henrik Sedin. Scooped up by Tanev. And for Daniel, and now the Kaiser breaks that up. The Kaiser played just 11 games last year, Mike, in the regular season for Detroit. Got hurt after 2 games in the playoffs. Despite that, invited to the U.S. Olympic summer camp. And has a decent chance of making the U.S. Olympic team.
Mike Babcock can't say enough good things about him.
Signed as a college free agent of Western Michigan, highly coveted. Alex Burrows shoots right on. Jimmy Howard makes a stop. His stick was tied up. Now Burrows sends it in front. Santorelli back with it, taps it back for Edler. Lots of traffic. Edler shoots off the end boards off the skate of Higgins and wide. Now Santorelli keeps it alive. The Kaiser fans on the first clearing attempt. Now plays it down low. Higgins gets there first for Vancouver. Chris Higgins spins off Quincy. Sends it back in front. Howard to save. Rebound loose, and Burrows couldn't tap it home. Alex Burrows back in it. Peels away from Quincy. Now Santorelli. Garrison drops it back for Higgins. Shots now 8-4 Detroit, but good pressure from the Canucks, and finally De Kaiser gets it out. Clary gets hammered there by Edler. Alfredson picks up the loose puck. Works his way in front, spins and shoots. That deflects wide. Here's Kindle down low for Detroit. Jakob Kindle, the defenseman, hemmed in by Santorelli, and knocked down by Higgins, who plays it ahead quickly for Zach Kassian. He lost the puck. Joachim Anderson with it for Detroit. Flips that wide of the goal. And Abdelkader, a big hit on Alex Edler. That was played down the ice by Vancouver's Brad Richardson. Kindle wins that race to the puck. And Richardson feeds it back. Bieksa had the shooting lane blocked by Tatar. Now Richardson back with it. Down to Kassian. Jeremy Welsh looking for it. And Kindle had that pass go off Welch's stick to Abdelkader. Abdelkader away from Richardson as both teams change. Abdelkader brings it ahead. High in the air, Luongo waves at that. And Abdelkader trying to poke it back. Up there by Yannick Weber. A defenseman who's playing forward with the injuries to some of the Canucks frontliners as Kronwall goes back.
Canucks right now have a fourth line of Yannick Weber, a defenseman, Archibald a call up, and Tom Sestito. So I don't think we'll ever see all 3 of them out there together. No natural center. They'll just get spotted in, sprinkled throughout the game.
Here's Sestito with it. Got Kessler centering him right now, so Kessler double shifting at the moment. Luongo back to play, and across he goes to Stan. Long lead pass for Daniel Sedin, along with Henrik. Henrik winds his way in across to Daniel. A shot back, the shot scores! Daniel Sedin continues the roll, and the Canucks lead 1-0.
And the Sedins keep it going. Look at the look here from Stanton up the middle to Daniel, and he wants to drop this, looking for the delay. And then Jimmy Howard gets caught on his knees, expecting a shot from Henrik, who slides it down on the tight angle to Daniel. Doesn't get all of that at all, but it's most about direction, not about velocity. Hit the empty net, get it in the air. He does what he wants to do with it, as Jimmy Howard bid on the shot fake and was nowhere near the back of the net.
4 goals the last 5 games for Daniel Sedin, and once again the Canucks have the first goal of the game. Pavel Datsyuk winds his way in for Detroit, a backhand shot, and Bertuzzi couldn't quite reach that. Now the Canucks break it back, 2-on-1. Henrik and Daniel. Henrik Sedin in, trying to shovel that across. The pass broken up by Brendan Smith. Santorelli back with it now for Vancouver. Plays it rink wide. Tanev head up, shoots, and Jimmy Howard makes the save on him and hangs on. Daniel Sedin with the goal. The Canucks with the lead. You're watching Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey from Vancouver on TSN.
Through Smith, who went down to block the pass. We're going to get it back door to his brother.
So Ryan Kessler will take this draw on his strong side, but it's won by Dantsuk. Great to see the 2 top lines going head to head. And Mike Babcock said that's the matchup they want, and I'm fine with it. Kaiser across to Kronwall, so we'll see These 10 guys on the ice, all up around 25 minutes tonight. Datsuk for Zetterberg. And across the line, poked away from him, and here's Daniel Sedin with it in behind the play. Hamhuis is down, clutching his face, and meantime to Kaiser. Plays it ahead, Datsuk fell, and Daniel Sedin plays it there for Henrik. Henrik back with it for Daniel. Spins off Datsuk, and here's Edler with it. Alex Edler, his shot goes off the leg of Bertuzzi and high off the glass. Kessler digging for it. It goes to Bertuzzi. His outlet pass for Zetterberg off his stick and out of the zone. 4:15 to go in the opening period. 8-6. Detroit with the advantage in shots as Bertuzzi works in and shoots. Luongo save rebound. And Garrison poked that away from Todd Bertuzzi.
Good save from Luongo on Bertuzzi. As Dan Hamhuis has gone off the ice, getting repairs. This is leaking from his lips, and I think he's going all the way to the dressing room right now. And it was Henrik Zetterberg on the rush. Watch him fall down. As he's on his way down, his stick comes flying over the top right there. Right on top of Hamhuis, and that's a 4-minute double minor missed by the referees. Have to be in control of your stick regardless of what's going on. And Henrik Zetterberg and the Red Wings get away with one there. And to compound the issue, you got Dan Hamhuis, one of the best defensemen for the Vancouver Canucks, not on the bench right now.
Weiss facing off against Richardson. And Stanton off the face-off win for Bieksa. Pass for Burrows, too far for him, and now Quincy. Reacquired by the Red Wings. He was a first-round pick a long time ago by Detroit. On up in Tampa, the Wings give him a first-round pick to get him back. Here's Quincy back with it. Quick shot, and Luongo fights that off. Santorelli slides out ahead for Higgins. And play called icing against the Canucks. The NHL on TSN is brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads. We'll look at the Lions Gate Bridge. Gordon Miller, Mike Johnson, Farhan Lalji, the TSN crew here in the second half of our Wednesday night doubleheader. The Red Wings only visit Vancouver this year, with the Wings moving to the Western Conference. Detroit 23rd in the league in goals per game.
Injuries have played a part. It's amazing, two teams that are considered upper echelon teams both have depth issues amongst their forwards and scoring. Tremendous first lines, but after that, it dries right up.
Now Richardson, after Kindle fell, trying to find the puck in the corner. Detroit's been held to 2 goals or fewer in 8 of 12 games. Quick chance now for the Canucks. That shot by Alex Burrows is blocked as Abdelkader slides it ahead. Abdelkader looks across for Tatar. Cassian picks it up. Looks for Richardson. That flutters away. As both teams will change. Kindle looks across for Kronwall, and Tanev has it for Vancouver. And the puck into the Red Wings bench. His play is called with 2:44 to go in the first.
Mike Babcock's got a lot on his plate. Of course, he's got the Canadian Olympic responsibilities that he's always being mindful of. But as he likes to say, I got to worry about my own team right now, getting them going. And he's concerned about the pace of their play. Doesn't think they play fast enough. They're not skating well enough. As he told us before the game, is it because we can't skate? I don't think so. We've done enough skating and practicing that everyone should know what they do and execute it better tonight.
Santorelli streaking in for Vancouver with a shot. He rips that wide. Now Tanev back with it. Detroit's only outshot the opposition 3 times so far this year. Last season, they outshot the opposition in 2/3 of their games.
That, to me, is the greater indication of their slowing down. The way they used to control the play, control the puck, and even if you won the game against them, you knew you were in top. They'd outshoot you, would outchance you. No longer the case. You can play them straight up and take your chances as long as you control Datsuk and Zetterberg.
Detroit struggled to score last year too. Mike, and wound up 13th in the overall standings. First time since 1991 Detroit wasn't a top 10 team at the end of the year. Kessler for Daniel Sedin, in with Henrik. Daniel across to Henrik, trying to corral that bouncing puck, and now Henrik drops it down to Kessler to Daniel. The hottest line in the NHL goes back to work. Henrik. Down to Daniels. Being bumped there by Smith. Not the defense matchup Detroit wants. Now Garrison a drive goes off a stick. Right to Henrik. Penalty coming up to Detroit. Garrison a drive. Howard the save. And interference will be the call against the Red Wings. It'll be Brendan Smith who goes off, and Vancouver's going back to the power play.
Detroit penalty number 2, 2 minutes interference.
I think Babcock talked about the need for defensive zone coverage, and that it would be tested against the Sedins. Whoever was out there would be challenged. Brendan Smith caught out there, not the matchup Babcock was looking for, and he takes a penalty because of it. Good battle here, and then it's coming out of the corner, cross check right in the back. Easy one to call, up high in the numbers. And the power play goes back to work.
So Burroughs will take the draw out there with Santorelli and Higgins up front. Alexander and Kevin Bieksa on the back end. Higgins trying to flip that down. Quincy intercepts and bangs it off the glass and down the ice. Vancouver with 9 wins on the year, 7 of them by 1 goal. Another close one on Monday night against Washington. Came back to win that game 3-2. Quincy fires it down.
That was an impressive game, though, that game versus Washington. Came back after that long road trip. Traditionally a difficult game to play in, and had a strong game, dominated the shot clock, and really took control of the game as it went along.
In comes Kessler with a drive, and Howard gets a piece of that and sends it wide for the final minute now of the opening period. Maybe the most impressive win of that trip to close it out in St. Louis, come back and win that game 5-4 in overtime.
Vancouver number 33, 2 minutes holding.
And Henrik Sedin now called for holding, and that'll do it for the power play 55 seconds in.
Strange penalty taken. Broken play as John Tortorella looks perplexed, trying to figure out what happened there. As Henrik right here on the boards, little hook into the hands of Drew Miller, and good call. Chris Rooney on the spot, little clutch. He doesn't like it, but reaching out, grabbing the arm, free hand.
Henrik Sedin, by the way, tonight is playing in his 644th consecutive game.
Every time we do a Vancouver game, that number gets bigger, and every time I shake my head, it is so impressive the way he plays and the minutes he plays that he's been able to do that.
In comes Kessler across the line for Higgins. So 4-on-4 now. Likely through the end of the period. Here's Kessler back with it for Garrison. Kessler cross check down by Kindle, wins the battle for the puck. Kessler didn't like that. Gives a high slash to Kindle. Final seconds now as Zetterberg comes in, and Garrison has it. Plays it across for Tanev. Daniel Sedin stakes the Vancouver Canucks to a 1-0 lead through 1 period of play. Sending now to our first intermission with James Duffy and the panel. When you said about an NHL team that they were a one-line team, it was an insult. The Canucks say, yeah, so?
Well, if they're going to be as good as this one line, it's not going to be a problem. Put together early in that long road trip in a game against Philadelphia. Ryan Kessler out of the second line center hole, up with the Sedins to play right wing, a very coveted spot by just about anyone. But you put a guy like Ryan Kessler with his unique skill set to get in on the forecheck, to shoot the puck and not be that big body, and they have been rolling. Henrik now on a 10-game point streak. Kessler working on a 5-gamer, Daniel on a 5-gamer as well. They can do no wrong. And when it's just one line, as long as they're playing 23, 24, 25 minutes a night, you're getting pretty good production out of very good players. And the Canucks have got that for the past couple of weeks with these 3.
And worth noting that John Tortorella feels that Ryan Kessler is not a center. He feels he's better on the wing. Would make the comparison to a David Backes in St. Louis, a Jeff Carter in Los Angeles, that they may play center, but they're more suited to being on the wing.
Yeah, and he was very good. That's not to say they're not good at center as well, but just their skill set probably best serves them in the right situation on the wing.
4-on-4 to open the second period. 10 seconds to go. And the penalty to Detroit's Brendan Smith, then a brief Detroit power play as Burroughs comes across the line, tries to drop it back. He's got Cleary all over him. Now Smith back on the ice for the Red Wings, but they're hemmed into their own zone here as Burroughs picks up a loose puck. And Burroughs goes back to Kevin Bieksa. Fires that back down to the wing zone. This is the start of a 4-game all-Canadian road trip for the Red Wings from here on to Calgary, then Edmonton, then Winnipeg. And the Red Wings have almost all of their western travel out of the way. They've got a California trip in January, but that's it. A big change for the Wings with the move to the east.
And that's when they're really going to start reaping the rewards of that conference shift, because all those quick flights, all those close cities, more nights at home, more hours spent in your own bed. And over the course of the season, for an older team like Detroit, it can add up. And especially if they get to the playoffs, not having to go down to San Jose in the first round or out to Vancouver in the first round. If you want to go deep, it's a lot easier to not have to travel cross country round after round.
In comes Zetterberg with it now, along with Datsuk. That pass broken up by Bieksa. And Zetterberg back with it, trying to flip it in front. Shots at 12-7 Detroit. 1-0 lead. Daniel Sedin for the Canucks. And Hughes. Cassian tied up by Bertuzzi. And Richardson taps it back to Bieksa. Long pass through the middle for Cassian, who fans on the shot. Bouncing puck scooped up by Kindle. Back up Kindle to Thomas Tatar. And Tatar with Joachim Andersen in, and Tatar fires that high off the glass. At the line, held by Kindle, fires off the end boards. Applicator a chance, Luongo down, and Roberto Luongo able to keep it out.
It's good recovery effort by Luongo on the Kindle shot here. Shoots it, gets just wide, but look at him get his stretch back to the post to make sure he keeps that one out. Nice, aggressively challenging, but then an athletic move to take the side of the net away from Tatar, who's trying to bank it in off him. And not only that, he keeps himself from sliding into the net, so the puck doesn't go underneath his pad.
Luongo has 7 wins so far this year. That ties his highest total ever for an October, so a chance tonight to have a new career best in a month that has normally not been kind to him.
And when Vancouver looked at their schedule at the start of the season, some of the injuries they had, to be where they are in the standings, they have to be very pleased.
In comes Datsuk with drive. Luongo juggles that, but able to hang on.
Pavel Datsuk just about underrated at everything. You don't think of him having a big shot, but shows you right here from distance. Testing Luongo, gets it just close enough to his ear. He can't get a full glove onto it. He hits it on the cuff and then pops it up in the air and makes the second save to get the whistle. These look very sharp. 14-7 now, the shots are in favor of the Red Wings.
Luongo only faced 19 shots in that win against Washington on Monday, but he faced a penalty shot in the first minute and a half of the game from Alexander Ovechkin.
It's been a real story to his season this year. He's already faced 3 penalty shots during gameplay, plus the shootouts. And he's been much better at them as of late.
Tanev fires it in. Brendan Smith leaves it there for Datsuk, and now Burrows picks it up for Vancouver. Alex Burrows, who used almost the entire month of October with a broken foot, returned on Monday. Now the bouncing puck at the side of the goal, scooped up by Jimmy Howard. And Santorelli comes in looking for the loose puck, and that draws a crowd to the left of Howard.
Roberto Luongo traditionally has struggled in the shootout. These are game situation penalty shots, and you see him making a little style on that one on Sutter, and then Ovechkin to start the game the other night. And he's got a little bit more confidence in it and feeling good about his chances. And it's amazing how moments like that can help dictate the way the game goes, especially that one against Ovechkin early on. Could have been a different game had he scored it.
Clary got squeezed there by Edler at the Vancouver line. And Luongo made a point of going over this morning to shake hands with Detroit coach Mike Babcock. Let him know he's still around.
Everybody's got a little side politicking going on. I'm still here. I'm available.
In comes Stephen Weiss with it. Slow start to the newly acquired free agent by Detroit. After an injury-ravaged season last year in Florida. A wrist problem, the biggest culprit there.
That's part of it. When you go basically a year and a half without playing any hockey games, it's hard to step back into a new team, new system, one that is entrenched as Detroit. He struggled with the transition so far.
Henrik Sedin flips that down. Here's Kronwall with it. Now scooped up by Daniel. Slides down in front. And Howard has that. Mentioned Henrik Sedin with his 644th consecutive game tonight. How significant is that, Mike? He broke the Canucks franchise record for consecutive games played 3 years ago.
Brendan Morrison had it back in the day, and I mean, we had talk every game about who's in and out of the lineup, and to go 8 years basically without missing a game it's incredible.
It's the second longest active streak in the league. Jay Bouwmeester in St. Louis.
Got it by a couple of games.
That's a remarkable one too. Cassian down to Richardson. Fights off Kindle. Back of Kindle. Leaves it down there. For Brian Lashoff. Lashoff, another one of those guys who won an American League championship with the Grand Rapids Griffins last year, Detroit's farm team in the American League. And Thomas Tatar, another one of those guys, slides it down to the Vancouver zone. Now a loose puck. Applicator slides that in front. Joachim Andersen with a chance, and Luongo eats it up.
Roberto Luongo almost got himself in trouble there as he's trying to set up the puck for his defenseman, but also set a little pick play on the forechecking Applicator. Applicator skates right on through. You see him throw the shoulder out, stumbled on the way back in the net, and awkwardly falls in that puck as Andersen threw it out in front.
Another guy that won an American League title last year with Grand Rapids is Gustav Nyquist, rather. Nyquist expected to return here to Detroit soon as they can clear some cap room to get him up.
It'll be a frustrating situation. When the team wants you, you're good enough to play, but they can't quite find a way to get you up onto the roster.
And he doesn't need waivers, so that's why he's down. Tatar would need waivers this year, so he stays up for now. Encouraging sign, though, for Detroit for their American League team to win the American League championship. They've been a top 10 pick in the draft since 1991. Took Martin LaPointe that year. Santorelli spins back, taken down by Eaves. By the way, Dan Hamhuis back on for Vancouver after being clipped by that stick of Henrik Zetterberg in the first period. Brendan Smith ahead to Drew Miller. Drew Miller he goes, and Luke Glendening had that roll off his stick to Hamhuis. Tanev off the glass and out. Ron Bertuzzi taps it back to Dan DeKeyser. Came down to two teams assigned to Kaiser, either Detroit or Tampa. Both had the Michigan connections. Steve Yzerman was his boyhood idol. In the end, he chose his boyhood favorite team. Luongo jumps on that and hangs on, and Roberto Luongo and the Vancouver Canucks enjoying a 1-0 lead with 13:59 to go here in the second period. Tom Rennie on the Detroit bench. Here's Farhan Lalji with more.
Gordon had a chance to speak to Tom Rennie, and he said they were thrilled with how their team played for the first 6 or 7 minutes of that first period, but after that, they stopped managing the puck and let the Sedins take the period over. Now, this second period has been a big problem for the Wings during this 4-game slide. They've been outscored in the second in every one of those periods, and they're telling me that something as simple as line changes because of the long change has been a problem. They've had a tough time getting their defense off the ice. It's cost them, so something to keep an eye on here as the second period progresses.
And some line juggling from Mike Babcock here in the second period. This is Daniel Alfredsson out there now with Datsyuk and Zetterberg. Hamhuis drops it back to Henrik Sedin, across to Daniel. Drops it around for Hamhuis, who's in deep, and now Zetterberg intercepts. So the Red Wings with not one but two Canadian Olympic head coaches. Rennie got his hand to a silver medal in Lillehammer back in 1994. Now Zetterberg tries to center it. Kessler intercepts and takes the return pass from Daniel Sedin. Now Chris Tanev jumps into the rush. His shot goes wide. And Daniel Sedin down to Kessler, loose behind the Detroit goal. The Michigan native who grew up cheering for the Red Wings plays that down, a chance at the side of the goal, but Zetterberg picks it up and takes the puck away from Daniel Sedin. And Kaiser off the boards and down for Alfredsson, and icing waved off as Bieksa goes back. Canucks have Toronto here on Saturday, then hit the road for a tough 4-game Western trip. Phoenix, San Jose, LA, and Anaheim. And now icing called against the Canucks as the faceoff will come back down to their zone.
Talked about the line juggling. New member of that top line momentarily, Daniel Alfredsson, who made the somewhat surprising decision to leave Ottawa after almost 1,200 games, 7th most all time before switching teams and come to Detroit. Felt they had a better chance of winning here in Detroit than they did in Ottawa. And money played a factor. I think all the Swedes on Detroit did as well.
Now Burrows with Bieksa busting in, trying to center it. Quincy broke that up. Bouncing puck to the side of the goal, played away by Quincy. Santorelli jumps in for Vancouver. Leaves it there for Burrows, steps around Cleary, jams it in front. Howard down, the puck loose. And Santorelli back with it for Vancouver. Good pressure again by the second line for the Canucks. As Chris Higgins spins off Bertuzzi. Smith with a chance now, goes off a skate. On the second try, the Red Wings finally play it out. Now Bertuzzi comes in along with Cleary and Weiss. Red Wings are changing as Bertuzzi buys some time, lays it back to the point. Thomas Tatar with a bouncing puck. Back to Jakob Kindl. His shot off the skate of Higgins. And they're an example of perhaps the most tangible impact that John Tortorella's had on the Vancouver Canucks. Block shots. Last year the Canucks were 27th in the league. This year they're 6th. He makes it very simple. If you don't block shots, you don't play. Santorelli fires that wide of the goal, and Richardson with it.
There's so much talk about the blocking shots before the season even started. And players had it well in their mind. It was something they're going to have to embrace even before they heard it from their coach.
Garrison around for Cassie, and the bouncing puck. Hacked that by Joachim Andersen. And Garrison plays it around for Edler. Up for Richardson, couldn't find his skates as Kronwall steps into him. Kronwall just stapling his man to the wall, and play is called.
And you talked about John Tortorella and his defensive style, emphasis on blocking shots, fronting, sacrificing both forwards and defense, and proof is in the numbers. You see where Vancouver was before he arrived, towards the bottom of the league, and right up near the top this year. Now some of that in years past had to do with that Vancouver had the puck a lot, so they wouldn't play on their own end, but not enough to make that kind of jump.
Well, and his old team, the Rangers, were 6th last year, Mike. They're 19th this year.
Nobody harping on the same group of players all of a sudden don't mind stepping out of the way. Henrik Lundqvist would prefer the shot blocking technique right now.
Approaching the midway point of the second period, Detroit outshooting Vancouver 14-8. Canucks lead 1-0 on the goal by Daniel Sedin, his 4th in the last 5 games, and Henrik Sedin adds to his league-leading assist total, picking up his 15th of the year. Now Kindl fires it down for Detroit, and Luongo knocks it down. Look out, put up the stick of Kindl, who fires that, and Luongo got a piece of that to knock it wide. Now Weber plays it ahead, and Archibald had that knocked away by Lashoff. Kindl looking ahead for Glendening. The pass too far for him. An icing call against Detroit.
Roberto Luongo, not an upper echelon puck handler, and he's got himself into trouble a couple times. Just a little bit of hesitation here. Wants to go around the wall, but he sees it's going to be taken away. Pauses, goes up the middle, but Kindl steps in front of Archibald, and Luongo has to scramble back in the net to clean up his own mess. When in doubt, always a better decision, just keep it along the boards.
Glendening taking the face-off against Henrik Sedin, so the 4th line, or parts of it out there for Detroit. Glendening was trying to change, and now does. As Henrik Sedin busts in, sends it across. Daniel, oh, what a save by Jimmy Howard! Takes one away from Daniel Sedin. 1-0, the Canucks lead, and Daniel Sedin almost made it 2.
Smart play by Dan Hamhuis here. It looks like Kindl and Lashoff both want to change, start heading to a bench. He goes with a quick up, and the Sedins work to space, 2-on-0 almost. Henrik to Daniel, tries to go 5-hole on Jimmy Howard, and it's rattling around down there somewhere, but he somehow manages to fight it off. But good decision and recognition by Hamhuis.
Off the face-off, when Hamhuis centers it, Henrik drops it back for Daniel, who fires it wide. Tanev across to Kessler, his stick blew up on him. Quickly gets another, but the Red Wings have the puck as Datsuk brings it ahead. Along with Zetterberg and Bertuzzi back on this line. Datsuk dancing in front, and the puck spun off his stick. Now Zetterberg on the feet from Bertuzzi, tries to slide that back in front. Hamhuis blocked that, and the puck comes out. And DeKeyser pounds it back in. Datsyuk trying to play it back for DeKeyser. The pass broken up by Henrik Sedin.
Kronwall was coming in for one of those big hits. Henrik saw him coming.
Now DeKeyser and Alfredsson step into Henrik Sedin. Trying to kick that ahead for Kessler, whose own broken stick is getting in the way. And they scrum around in the corner. Alfredsson finally flips it up for Zetterberg. Rink wide pass for Alfredsson in on Ryan Stanton. They collide in the corner. And Bieksa lifts Alfredsson's stick and takes the puck away. Scooped up by Santorelli. He's away along with Burrows and Higgins. Santorelli in, shoots and misses short side. Now clear of the tough play in his backhand. Couldn't get it out. And finally Alfredsson has it along with Weiss. And Brendan Smith jumping in. Alfredsson drops it back for the trailer. Quincy across to Smith. Kicking a backhand shot away. Alfredsson a chance to score! Daniel Alfredsson got the bouncing puck and it skips it behind Luongo and the game is tied.
Slow developing 4-on-3 for Detroit. Ends up with the puck on Daniel Alfredsson's stick at the side of the net. He starts the rush and he slows it down. He's waiting for Quincy and Kindle to jump up to clear the lane back to Quincy. Quincy gets it, slides it on down to Smith. Sorry, and then it pops back out. Alfredsson off the post, off Luongo's leg, and back into the net.
Third of the year for Alfredsson, who has scored now in back-to-back games. He had a goal against the Rangers on Saturday in Detroit's overtime loss to New York.
But I'd like to see that both defensive activating on the 4-on-3 rush with Smith right down on the side of the net.
So moments after Daniel Sedin had a near tap in at one end of the ice, Daniel Alfredsson ties it up for Detroit.
One of the first odd man rushes they've had, but look at he's waiting right now, waiting for Weiss to go through, waiting for Smith to go through so he can hit that first seam and then eventually flows to the front of the net and doesn't miss.
Now off the draw, Jimmy Howard juggles that shot as Brad Richardson got a quick one away, and Howard hangs on to that.
And Daniel Alfredsson, although he is piling up the points, many of them on the power play, they're still waiting for him to hit full stride. Didn't have a full training camp, and again, the adjustment, even for a player as good as he is and as experienced as he is to a new team and a new system, has taken its time.
Alfredsson age 40, one of the oldest skaters in the NHL. A sloppy change by Detroit there. Glendening almost got caught for too many men on the ice. Away comes Jeremy Welsh. Into Bayfield, Ontario, flips that wide. And Zach Kassian, long shot tipped in front. Howard able to corral that and knock the rebound away. In comes Glendening across the line. Glendening with a shot short side. And saved by Luongo. Luke Glendening from Grand Rapids, Michigan, a walk-on. Made the American Hockey League team in his hometown after going to college in Michigan. So college, minor pro, and now the NHL, all in Michigan. Not bad.
I wouldn't think walking on to Grand Rapids would be the quickest route to the NHL.
In comes Bertuzzi across the line. Todd Bertuzzi busting in. And Dan Hamhuis stays with him step for step. 10 years ago, Todd Bertuzzi had a career-high 46 goals as a Vancouver Canuck. And he and Hamhuis were going at it. Bertuzzi's lost his helmet. Daniel sends it back in front of Howard, knocks it away. So Bertuzzi, little old-school Detroit action here, helpless as Datsyuk comes in across the line. Backhand shot off the post and out, and all the way back to the Detroit zone. Where would you rank the Datsyuk backhand?
Best. It's the best.
Clearly a long shot, and Luongo hangs on to that. Well, TSN's rugby action continues on Sunday as Canada takes on the New Zealand Maori All Blacks in an international friendly presented by AIG. Live coverage underway at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TSN. You can see the haka before the match. Famous pregame ritual of New Zealand. You're all over the haka, aren't you?
That's what I do for the games, Gord. You see me down in the hallways.
Doing the haka?
Yeah. All about intimidating.
Because that's your game, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. Always has been.
Richardson showing out as Alex Burrows will step in for the draw. You see Burrows with the extra protection on his skates after suffering the broken foot. A long shot by Cleary, goes off the leg. Here's Kyle Quincy with it. I think we're going to be saying shot was blocked a lot in Vancouver games this year. How about last night in Montreal? The Canadians had more blocked shots than their goaltender had saves. About 29 shots in that game.
Josh George is one of the very best. Douglas Murray back in lineup, something he does very well as well.
Now icing waved off as Chris Higgins goes back in the race for the puck, won by Higgins. Loose behind the Detroit goal, sends it back in front, missed Burrows with it. Now Stanton down to Higgins. 5:45 to go in the second period, a game tied at 1. Quincy knocked down that centering pass, plays it ahead to Alfredsson. Red Wings are changing as Alfredsson buys some time and puts it down in the Vancouver zone. Tatar trying to center, goes off a stick up to center ice. Cassian across to Richardson. And Richardson's shot goes off Jakob Kindl and up and out of play. Daniel Alfredsson has his third of the year, and the Red Wings and Canucks are even at 1 in the second period on Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey. Tonight's player profile is brought to you by Scotiabank. 38-year-old Todd Bertuzzi, the only man to play 250 games for both the Canucks and the Red Wings. If you drop it down to 200, Igor Larionov managed to do that, but Mr. Bertuzzi, the only active player with 300 goals and 1,400 minutes, spent 9 years here with the Canucks.
Forget how dominant he was with Marcus Naslund, Brendan Morrison on that line. They were the best in the NHL for a couple years running.
Dan Hamhuis slaps it down to Kessler, back to Hamhuis. Now Daniel Sedin's shot tipped up and out by Datsyuk, and Mr. Bertuzzi was your roommate at the World Championship, correct?
Yeah, St. Petersburg, Russia, 2001. 3 weeks in a very small Russian hotel room with beds smaller than him, and the face says it all. His already grumpy disposition was exacerbated by the food and the time change and the small beds and the 4th place finish.
You must have some good tales to tell.
Oh.
I'm assuming you kept quiet most of the time.
The first time I met him, but you know what? He's my parents' my parents love him because he flew my mom over to Russia on his plane ticket so that she could come watch.
Nice.
So my mom is forever indebted to Todd Bertuzzi.
Richard on Tanev gives him a hard ride. And Henrik Sedin to Dan Hamhuis to Daniel. And Daniel Sedin moves it ahead. Henrik tight ropes the blue line to stay onside. And Nick Kronwall scoops it up for the Red Wings. Kronwall played 27 minutes the other night against the Rangers. His applicator comes in, shoots, and that flutters wide. And here's Henrik down to Jason Garrison up along for Daniel. He was cross-checked there by Brendan Smith. 4 to go in the second period. And if this game is tied going to the third period, it would not be a surprise. The last 6 Vancouver games have been tied at some point in the third. Now Quincy racing back as Burrows is tracking him. And Quincy steps away to Joachim Andersen. Back for Smith. That pass goes astray. Santorelli knocked it back in. And Smith back up to center ice. Icing waved off as Garrison and Andersen collide, and Garrison goes down hard as Andersen threw him down, and Garrison didn't like that. Slow to get to his feet. And they re-engage in behind the Vancouver goal. Tatar tied up by Edler, and Burrows ahead to Santorelli. Drops it off for Higgins, busting in his Chris Higgins, a backhand shot, he put it wide. And Weiss knocks it back down to the Canucks line. Ryan Stanton fires it back down to the Red Wings zone. That'll be icing called against the Canucks with 3 to go in the second.
Jason Garrison in some pain on the bench. He got tangled up awkwardly with Anderson. Now this would have been icing because Garrison touches it right there. But this is exactly the race that you want guys to avoid. And that little bit of a sloof, it gets his left leg tucked underneath him as he goes into the boards awkwardly. Right there, I see a little pull, and oh! They still are tending to him on the bench.
The exit bangs it off the glass, but icing waved off as Kindle goes back. Shots are 16-12 Detroit. Weiss has that pass intercepted. And Weiss falls at center ice. Kindle's pass knocked down by Richardson. And Welch got it back up for Vancouver and pounds it down to the Detroit zone. Zach Kassian picks it up for the Canucks, lost the puck to Kindle. And now Welch back on it. Jeremy Welch, a free agent signee by Carolina, traded to Vancouver along with Zach Delpy at the start of the season. The Canucks have had to patch together their third and fourth lines through a series of injuries in the first month of the season. Weiss with it for Alfredson along with Dan Cleary. Cleary collides with Bieksa behind the Canucks net. They battle for the puck down low. Datsuk comes in to help out. Zetterberg with it. Henrik Zetterberg spins away from Hamhuis. And again. Throws that to an open corner where Datsuk is waiting for it. Back to Kronwall. Cross he goes, and the Kaiser with a shot. Luongo through the traffic makes the save. Datsuk centers Zetterberg. Fan of the one-time shot. Now Cleary. Back to the Kaiser. In for Zetterberg. That pass knocked down by Hamhuis and chipped out by Henrik Sedin. Rink wide for Daniel. Flips it down to the Red Wing zone and goes off on a chain. Nick Kronwall quickly ahead of Thomas Tatar. With Datsuk. Tatar spins and shoots. Scores! Tatar through the traffic. Gives the Red Wings the lead. And a frustrated Roberto Luongo throws the puck away. And Tatar with his first goal of the year for the Wings.
Roberto Luongo didn't have a good line of sight of this one as it got through a couple players, including one of his own defenders right in front of him, Chris Tanev. Tatar stops up, shoots this, and I think Roberto Luongo right there, as Tanev actually lifts his foot up out of the way instead of turning it sideways to block it, lifts it up to let Luongo see it. And you can see the sticks off the ice. He never picks it up until it's past him. And Tatar gets the Red Wings the lead.
For the first time in the game. Luongo had 2 frustrating games against the Red Wings last year. He gave up 13 goals in his 2 appearances against them, including 8 in a loss at the Joe Louis Arena. Burrows. Long shot. Howard got just enough of that.
That one dropped about 6 inches on the knuckler.
30 seconds to go now in the period. Alfredson for Anderson. And the extra move put Abdelkader offside at the Vancouver line.
Tatar up on these top lines to be the designated shooter. And he gets a pretty good one away here. But Chris Tanev leads the team in blocks. He's got 30 heading into the game. And he elects to let this one go through, which clearly surprises Luongo right there.
The old flamingo.
And when nobody in front, oftentimes it's a good idea to let the puck go through, just let the goalie make the save. But when you're that close and right in front of the line of sight, an easy block should have been made by Tanev.
For his 5th game of the year, Tatar is his first goal of the season. Trying to earn a regular spot in the lineup for the Red Wings. And now Glendening with a shot that goes off the leg and wide. And the Detroit Red Wings, on goals by Daniel Alfredson and Thomas Tatar, have a 2-1 lead after 40 minutes. We'll send you to James Duthie, the panel, and our second intermission. And Mike, the Detroit Red Wings search for an identity continues. Still trying to find out what kind of team they have, and we've seen some flashes, especially in the second period.
A lot of the things that Mike Babcock has been talking about the last few days, the habits they need to make permanent in their game, they were on display And he's been doing a lot of coaching. He hasn't always had to do that with his teams as they've been so good, but he's been working the bench pretty hard. But it's about puck management, getting it in deep, getting a forecheck, and as he liked to call it, not being one and done. So you don't turn it over right here, you create a loose puck and then get the next stick on it so you can maintain possession and time a zone. They want to focus on better exits out of their own end. Crisper passes out over the blue line and out of their end to limit the shots and defensive zone time against. And again, Henrik Zetterberg is his model. He can do it, everybody else can, as he gets in on the forecheck, creates the turnover, puck support. This is how Mike Babcock wants Detroit Red Wings to play, and it's paid dividends. Through 2 periods, Vancouver with only 13 shots, and the Red Wings with a 2-1 lead.
We mentioned the Red Wings this season have only outshot the opposition 3 times in their first 12 games. This, however, is not unfamiliar territory for the Canucks. In their 9 wins this year, they have trailed at some point in 7 of them. Pass by Kronwall off a stick and out of play.
Chris Tanev trying to shake out the cobwebs as he got put in the boards hard by Todd Bertuzzi, and he gets his right shoulder above the dasher, and that's what hurts because exposes the ribs, not a lot of protection underneath your arm. He goes right off to the bench. And he's become a pretty valuable player for Vancouver Canucks.
Well, John Tortorella was saying to us before the game that of all the players in Vancouver, Tanev probably gets what the coaching staff is trying to impart better than anyone, as Zetterberg puts that high and wide. And Zetterberg back with it, trying to center it for Datsuk. That pass broken up as now Bieksa bumped by Bertuzzi. The puck turned over to Kaiser, in shoots, and Luongo got a piece of that as Bertuzzi was standing in front. Now Datsuk back with it. Nifty move by Datsuk, drops it off for Zetterberg. Spins around Burrows. Bertuzzi again parked in front. And the Kaiser steps up for Detroit. And Burrows back with it for the Canucks. Daniel Sedin, who chips it down to the Detroit zone. And Kronwall has it for the Wings. Kronwall shaken up in the Colorado game with that hit by Cody McLeod that earned McLeod a suspension. Kronwall missed a couple of games, shaking off the effects.
John Tortorella hasn't liked what he's seen out of his team through 2 periods, and Ryan Kessler back playing center. Alex Burrows back with the Twins.
What, you didn't think the Lions would be permanent in Detroit or in Vancouver?
Well, they've been as hot as anyone in the league. They might get through another game, but to start the 3rd period, it's been all Detroit again. Pavel Datsuk drawing into a little drop pass. It's a good opportunity for Henrik Zetterberg, leading goal scorer for Detroit, and then another defensive zone breakdown. A lot of room, and it's Todd Bertuzzi who gets a piece of that one, screening Roberto Luongo.
Weiss won that draw. The shot by Quincy was blocked. And Higgins moves it out for Vancouver, but the rolling puck goes to Brendan Smith. Alfredson ahead for Weiss. In with Dan Cleary. Weiss tries to drop it off. The pass intercepted by Santorelli. And Smith stepped into Higgins. A penalty coming up to Brendan Smith as he caught Chris Higgins with a high stick. And Vancouver will get an early power play here in the 3rd period.
Looks like it's just going to be 2 as Chris Higgins, that big beard not cut from the high stick of Brendan Smith, steps into him here, stick up high, and again loses control, falls through right into the chin of Chris Higgins. And the power play, which they've survived without very nicely, now has the opportunity to come through big in a game they're down in the 3rd period.
0 for 2 tonight with just 1 shot on goal. Henrik Sedin, Daniel Sedin, Kessler up front, Hamhuis, along with Garrison on the back end. Edler not on the top power play unit for the Canucks most of the time. Daniel Sedin back to Hamhuis. To Daniel. Winds his way in, shoots and missed far side. High off the glass, Hamhuis able to hold the line for Vancouver. Now to Kaiser on it with the long reach, got to that puck. Off the glass and not out. Daniel to Henrik. Back into Daniel. Slides across to Hamhuis. The puck bounced off his stick. Goes to Henrik. Steps around Glendening. Drops back to Daniel. With Kessler parked in front. There's Hamhuis a drive with just wide off the end boards. Howard down. And Kessler couldn't reach it.
Chris time we've seen any kind of offensive zone time for the power play, and good movement up top. As the Sedins interchanging, teeing up the point shot.
Now Higgins in for Vancouver. As Lashoff hustles back. Some unfamiliar names in the penalty kill for the Detroit Red Wings. You see Glendening, Joachim Andersen, Ryan Lashoff. A changing of the guard with Detroit. In comes Higgins with time. Sends it across to Bieksa. Back to Edler. Now Bieksa back with it. 30 seconds to go in the power play. The hard shot by Bieksa, kicked out by Howard.
Too close to the goaltender there. All three forwards right on top of Howard. Someone just pops out 15 feet off the crease. More time to react to that rebound.
In comes Bieksa again. Long wrist shot. Howard knocks that away. And Glendening chopped down the rebound. Now Edler a drive that hits Kronwall's skate in front. And Burrows with it. To Santorelli. Burrows to Edler. Cross to Bieksa. Final seconds of the power play. Long shot tipped wide by Santorelli. Smith steps out of the box for Detroit. And away come the Wings. Smith puts that in deep and heads off on a change. And so the Vancouver power play now 0 for 3 on the night. 2 shots on goal on that last man advantage. Henrik Sedin battles for it in the corner. Here's Datsuk taken down. And now Bertuzzi's stick broke on it. And the Red Wings can't clear the zone. Tanev to Hamhuis. Rink wide he goes for Daniel Sedin. Here's Henrik to an open wing. Zetterberg waiting for it for Detroit. His pass intercepted by Kessler, who flips it back in deep to Henrik Sedin. Tips away from Kindle. Plays it back in front. Bertuzzi, though, got it for Detroit. Flips it back down to the Vancouver zone. 5 gone in the third period. Shots now 18-15 in favor of Detroit. Aaron Archibald bumped there by Alfredsson. And the puck goes over the glass and out.
And there's a reason why Henrik Sedin is leading the league in assists, and he just has a sense of how to get the puck to players underneath the triangle, taking advantage of Eves there to get it to his brother. Another one here. Makes the corner underneath Glendening through the triangle there. No way guys can get their skates or their stick on it. And they expose that triangle as well as anybody in the NHL.
As Mike Babcock said to us before the game, when you play against that line, if you get stuck in your own end, they'll cycle against you until you're dead.
They will challenge you. Talking about DeKaiser and Kindle, some of their young defensemen, and they're going to be put to the test trying to defend against the Sedins because of that, just that, the way they spin and use the back of the net or strong on the puck. If you're going to make a wrong read, if you're going to get lost, it's going to be against them.
So Burrows back out with the Sedins. It's the Weiss line for Detroit. Weiss with Alfredsson and Cleary. 3-on-2 for Detroit. In comes Cleary with a time. Shoots and misses short side. Now Henrik Sedin back the other way with Daniel. And Bieksa jumping into the ride. Henrik drops it back to the trailer. Burrows, he pans with a shot. It was blocked by DeKaiser, and back come the Red Wings. Alfredsson and DeKaiser. 2-on-1 of a hurry, but Alfredsson peels back to buy time on a change. And his shot goes off the leg of Henrik Sedin and wide.
He was running out of gas there because had he kept skating, he had the 2-on-1 with DeKaiser jumping up.
Now Burrows will start the Vancouver change. He backhands that in. Thomas Tatar, who has a goal for Detroit tonight, his first of the year. And that knocked away by Edler. Across the line is Tatar. For Applicator shoots on the long one, got just a piece of that. Applicator, another Michigan guy who played college in the state and now plays for the Red Wings. Pass knocked down by Joachim Andersen. Feeds back to Quincy, trying to find it in his feet. Nifty pass back to Andersen. Joachim Andersen. Rink wide he goes. Applicator sends it in front. Kessler knocked that away. And back at center ice, it bounces in behind Brendan Smith. Quincy goes back for it. And Kessler falls hard behind the Detroit goal. Applicator for Drew Miller. Now Miller and Tanev collide in the corner. Miller wins the race with the puck, but Hamhuis Able to gather it up. To Kassian. To Sestito. In for Brad Richardson. So another different combination for Vancouver on the 3rd/4th line. Tanev brought the heaviest with a shot. Howard makes the save, and there is no rebound. From Vancouver, Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey continues after this.
Burrows back up with the Sedins, and when you play with them, you're going to get chances. Off the rush here, it's a 4-on-3. Gets a drop pass. Look at Bx on the far post, wide open. He looks to shoot it. Does neither. Doesn't pass it over. Fans on the shot. And he's giving the old beaver tail. I want it. I want it. I don't know if he's doing Ryan Henrik Sedin that you're available. I think he knows you're coming. But he had Bx wide open if he just dropped it over to him. But you got to remember, this is only 2nd game back after missing basically the entire month of October. And you see a little bit of rust there on his decision-making in front of the net.
Some guys don't like the beaver tap, huh?
I never liked it because it drew attention to you. I was, you know, if you're that wide open, you don't want to let other people know you're so wide open.
Daniel for Tanev, in, shoots, missed high and wide. And Burrows with a loose puck to Henrik. Back down to Daniel. Tanev teed up with a one-timer, fans on it. Have to race back to take the puck away from Zetterberg. Daniel Sedin knocked down by Datsyuk. Another takeaway for Pavel Datsyuk. Cross to Zetterberg. Zetterberg. Back to Smith. Lots of traffic in front. Bertuzzi caught it. Pitching with a shot off the end boards. Bounces right back to him.
Those are some bouncy boards.
Now Daniel down to Garrison. And Hughes fires it down to the Detroit zone. Quincy goes back. And Santorelli being worked on there by Cleary. 11.5 to go in the 3rd. Jason Garrison's long shot drifts just wide. And Alfredson flips it up to center ice. Alfredson rink wide, finds Weiss in stride. Stephen Weiss with a long shot. And Luongo makes the save. Here again is Farhan Lalji.
Guys, following up John Tortorella's comments to Mike Johnson, assistant coach Glenn Gulletson said the same thing to me between periods. Called the first 2 periods boring, and he said, well, we like what the top 2 lines for each team are doing in terms of urgency and intensity. The rest of the lines are basically playing ping pong and sparring. The Canucks need to find some energy in this 3rd period, and one way for them to do that is to take an energy player like Ryan Kessler and put him elsewhere in the lineup.
Glenn Gulletson, the head coach of the Dallas Stars, prior to this stop. And now icing called against Vancouver. Well, 16 years of illustration, and they still don't know where to draw the line. There's only one South Park, and it's now only on Much. Watch a brand new episode Wednesday at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. On the night before Halloween in Vancouver. You wearing a suit again this year for Halloween, Mike?
I'll be wearing a rain suit, it sounds like, tomorrow night in Toronto, walking around.
Here comes Kindle with a drive pad, saved by Luongo. Now Bieksa with a clearing attempt that ramped off a stick. Weiss battling with Santorelli, 2 former Florida Panther teammates, and now Alfredson picks up a loose puck in the corner. Kept around Stanton. Now Archibald has it taken away by Kindle. Aaron Archibald, an undrafted junior pickup by the Canucks. Alfredson now centers it, knocked away by Kassian. And Joakim Andersson, fresh off the bench for Detroit, feeds down to Drew Miller. Stanton ahead to Santorelli for Archibald. And he fires that down to the Detroit zone as Kronwall steps away from Henrik Sedin. That clearance up by Tatar, knocked out. He stepped into Burrows, and Burrows didn't like that knee-on-knee contact. Now Burrows back with it, tries to center it. Kronwall got in the way. And Kronwall steps away from Burrows to Thomas Tatar. 2nd-round pick of the Red Wings in 09. Puts it down as Garrison goes back, and Abdelkader stepped into him. Bouncing puck in front, moved away by Henrik Sedin, and back out to center ice. Crowd urging the Canucks on. Down 2-1, being outshot 21-17. Anderson, the applicator, shoots, and Luongo gets an arm on that. Now Daniel Sedin turns it over to Applicator. Tatar works in, Applicator shoots. That was blocked by Edler. Bouncing puck in front, and finally Burrows. Henrik Sedin, who just fishes that up in the air and out. Canucks need a change, and now Brendan Smith jumps up for the Red Wings. Wheels back on the half wall, flips it back to Kyle Quincy, drops it down to Bertuzzi. And Bertuzzi for Datsyuk. Centers it, bouncing puck, tapped wide by Zetterberg, feeds it back in front. And that was blocked by Edler. And now Edler back for it, being shadowed there by Datsyuk. If you can't spot Datsyuk on the ice, just look for the biggest stick blade you can find. Looks like a canoe paddle down there. I'm sure it wouldn't be illegal, but 8:29 to go in the third period. Wednesday Night Hockey returns to Vancouver in a moment.
Every game we marvel at Pavel Datsyuk and his ability to play both ends of the rink and both sides of his stick. His backhand, we talked, is as good as anybody's in the NHL. It is the best. It's so good that he chooses to go with it. Behind the back passes, just finds a way right to his desired location, goes there all the time, loads it up, doesn't use a big curve. And Gord, you mentioned his stick, and he has a very wide, in that it's tall, and also long paddle, abnormally long especially, and he uses that to roll it all the way off on that backhand. And when you can have that as an option with the accuracy that he does and the precision, it gives you a real advantage.
Led the Red Wings last year with 15 goals in the shortened season. There are limits to how long your stick blade can be and how wide. Both he and Teemu Selanne probably stretch those rules to their absolute breaking point.
Yeah, Ryan Smith, another guy who likes the nice, fat and tall. Most guys don't like to use one that's too long, heel to toe, because it's harder to manage and roll it off your stick. It just takes a little bit longer. But Pavel Datsyuk very clearly does not have that problem.
Signed a 3-year extension with Detroit. There was a lot of talk he wanted to go back and finish out his career in his home of Russia, but loves playing for the Red Wings, loves the puck possession style. He'll be a hard guy to replace when he does finally hang him up.
Just thinking the same. There's nobody else quite like him. Once again, leading the league in takeaways, as he seems to be amongst the leaders every single season.
Al Cleary works in along with Alfredsson. Dan Cleary with a shot that deflects off a skate, not a play. 8:03 to go in the third period.
It's a well-timed block by Chris Tanev there, helping out Roberto Luongo. Didn't block one that went in the net, but this one, 2-on-1 with Dan Cleary, gets down just in time. Sees the spacing, and then look at that, puts the boot in front of it. And it's probably no surprise John Tortorella saying that he's gotten what they're trying to implement faster than anyone. And not by coincidence, he's leading the team in blocks.
The guy who wasn't picked in the NHL draft, a free agent signee by the Canucks in 2010 out of the Rochester Institute of Technology.
He came up here so quickly. He was about a year, 15 months removed from playing Tier 2 around the Toronto area, 1 year in college, and then found himself playing for the Canucks.
Zetterberg along with Datsyuk and Bertuzzi out there for Vancouver. And Bertuzzi battling with Hamhuis. Now the puck loose in front as Burrows lost it. Zetterberg a backhand shot, and Roberto Luongo shuts down the short side post and hangs on.
This is not the line you want to be cutting tight around your net. With Datsyuk and Zetterberg so quick with their sticks, going to catch you from behind and try to take it away. And Zetterberg right there, stepping in the line and putting it back in on net.
Sedin's back out there along with Ryan Kessler. It's actually Henrik Sedin, Chris Higgins, and Ryan Kessler now. So another juggle by Tortorella.
He's searching right now. He's looking up and down the bench, trying to find someone who's going to give him some energy.
Remember, he broke up the Sedins in Calgary earlier this month with the team trailing in the third period. They rallied back to tie that game in the third period. So he tries it again here with 7 to go in the third. Pitch reading Garrison, a long shot. And Jimmy Howard hangs on to that. Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey on TSN is brought to you by Scotiabank. You're richer than you think. .6:58 to go. The shots are 23-18 Detroit. Red Wings scored twice in the second period to take the lead. No goals so far in the third. Now race for the puck as Stephen Weiss gets in on Ryan Stanton. And Weiss giving Stanton all he can handle, forces the turnover as Alfredsson sends it back in. Now Cleary with a steal, sends it back in front for Alfredsson. It bounced away from him. And Weiss on it for Detroit. He tangled there with Bieksa. And Richardson has it for Vancouver, along with Tom Sestito. That bounced away from him. Alfredsson back with it. Looks ahead to Datsyuk. Pavel Datsyuk in, shoots, and Luongo got a toe on that.
That's a good save for Roberto Luongo. Didn't just get down to the butterfly, but athletic left kick.
Now a chance for Bertuzzi, misses short side. And Daniel Sedin sends it up to center ice. Back out with Henrik. And Santorelli as the Canucks are in the midst of a change. And Zetterberg looks ahead to Datsyuk. He's got Bertuzzi with him. In comes Pavel Datsyuk, stops and shoots. That's blocked by Edler. Datsyuk back on it. Stapled there by Edler to the sideboards. 5:43 to go in the third. Kronwall holds the line for Detroit. Santorelli now trying to chip it out, and does, as Zetterberg lost the puck at center ice. And Bertuzzi fires it back down. That might be the change for Detroit. Burrows, Kessler, and Higgins the forward line for Vancouver.
Got to be awake on the bench when you're going like this, as every time over the boards it's a different combination. We got a 4-on-1 developing.
Here they come. It's Thomas Tatar and across the line. Tatar waits, sends it back. Almost stopped by Luongo and just an applicator. Luongo keeps the Canucks in it with a terrific stop on a 4-on-1. Teams don't even practice those anymore. Now Kessler sends it back in front, and the rebound knocked away from Higgins. Stolen back by the Canucks. Kassian for Higgins, that bounced away from him. And Tatar away again, along with Abdelkader, but Edler comes back and muscles him off the puck.
End of the shift there. He's got nothing left. And now he's going to be stuck out there on an icing. Not a great time for an icing there. It might be timeout time.
And the Lou chant goes up here in Vancouver.
As it should. This game should be almost out of reach if it were not for that save by Roberto Luongo. 4-on-1 developing from the top of the circle. Starts doing a 3-on-1. And it's wide open back door to Abdelkader. Just can't get it up over the pad, but look at the effort. Got to honor the shootout. That's Tatar in a great shooting spot. Hard push, gets it across. And keeps his team in the game. And Mike Babcock sees how tired that unit is out there, and he takes his time out.
Tatar was looking to the bench, almost begging for his coach to call time.
Reading body language, he was ready to get hunched over the boards for a minute. And you like to see that out of Mike Babcock. Just nice and calm, not going to panic, not going to give anyone too many instructions, just let them catch their breath. Win a face-off, get out of the zone, and make a change.
After the Red Wings ran their winless streak of 4 games, Babcock asked what he thought of his team. He said, it looks like they don't have a coach right now.
But the one thing he always said is that we're not very good, but we will be. He never expressed any doubt in the kind of team they will eventually become. And like a lot of teams, dealing with some injuries to key players.
Henriksen in against Joachim Andersen on the face-off. 4:14 to go in the third. And Andersen wins that draw. Kittle with some time, looks ahead to Andersen. That long shot knocked away by Luongo as the change can begin. There's a Detroit sweater on the ice in the Canucks zone. And now
I got it.
they gave it to you. What are you supposed to do with it? Whose is it?
It's a Datsuk.
Datsuk centers for Bertuzzi. Another stop by Luongo. Now Zetterberg. The puck loose in the corner. Flips in front for Datsuk. Couldn't get a shot away. Still battling for the puck. And finally, Daniel Sedin pokes it ahead for Henrik. Along with Santorelli. And DeKeyser taps it across for Datsuk. This is not the Red Wings we're accustomed to seeing, but they grind away and grind away. Bringing to a 2-1 lead here in the third period. Now Burrow's a long shot, gloved by Howard, and he'll hang on. 2:57 to go in the third. We're back to Vancouver after this. Time now for tonight's performer of the game, brought to you by GMC Sierra.
And who else would it be but one of the Sedins? The way they're playing, it's Daniel, who's been a threat throughout. Scored a goal and a nice play. Several good chances in a game that hasn't had many. And he very well could have 2 or 3, except just the one the Canucks have on the board on a tight angle one-timer. He finds the back of the net with over 23 minutes, 3 scoring chances. Another typical Sedin performance.
And back up there again, along with Kessler, who takes the draw and wins it. And Henrik Sedin walks out in front. His backhand shot was blocked by Datsuk. And here we go again, power on power as Zetterberg brings it ahead. 1-on-4 is Zetterberg as the rest of his teammates have peeled back. And now Daniel Sedin forever, but it bounces out to center ice. Most NHL games see coaches try to keep the top lines away from each other. They've been head-to-head most of the night here. Henrik Sedin on the backhand, ahead for Higgins. Bumped there by Brendan Smith, and now Kessler with a backhand pass through the crease. Santorelli on it. Bumping there with Quincy. And Santorelli centers for Kessler. The one-time shot was blocked by Datsuk. And Hamhuis has to go off a skate into the corner. Quincy banks it ahead for Zetterberg. And Detroit needs a change as Zetterberg goes off. Kevin Bieksa spins away from Weiss. 1:45 to go now in the third period. Hamhuis ahead to Burrow. Tortorella pulls Luongo early. And he's gone to the Canucks bench. Henrik Sedin, the extra skaters, on for Vancouver. The puck goes over the glass. We've got a face-off in the Detroit zone. So Daniel Sedin with a goal, 3 scoring chances. Going to be over 24 minutes, maybe 25 by the time this thing's done.
That is a full night's work, 25 minutes as a forward. And now it is John Tortorella's team to take a timeout. Roberto Luongo, what looked like a shaky goal, wasn't helped out by Chris Tanev, but other than that, he has been very good. Shots are 27-19 as Detroit has had the better looks and carried most of the play territorially. As it's Mike Sullivan on the bench trying to diagram the offensive sequence for the Canucks.
Sullivan has been a long-time Tortorella assistant in Tampa, New York, and now Vancouver.
Former teammate of mine down in Phoenix.
Played for Calgary as well.
Sadly for a little while, former centerman of mine.
Sad for him or sad for you?
Sad for me, as I like to tell him. As we were a defensive specialist unit when he was your centerman. But you could tell he was going to be a coach even back then. Always breaking down plays and real student of the game even as a player.
And a sounding board for Tortorella. Part-time psychologist. So the net remains empty. Henrik Sedin steps in against Pavel Datsuk with 1:37 to go in the third period. And a scrambled draw. Controlled by the wings. Kronwall Alfredsson skated by the puck. Kept alive and bounced down in front. DeKeyser, though, picks it up as Santorelli played that. And now Higgins along the wall. Alfredsson to it. On the third try, Alfredsson finally got that out. But a hooking call coming to the Canucks as the puck moved up the ice. And it'll be Daniel Sedin.
22 Vancouver, 2 minutes hooking.
So both Sedins have been penalized in this game. That's a rare enough sight.
That's why Mike Babcock put Daniel Alfredsson out there on that #1 line to finish off this game for his strong play on the wall here. Gets a poke at it, then keeps his feet moving. Just a little hook into the hands. And that's the penalty. And you see the strength of Datsyuk here. Doesn't even let Henrik Sedin get his stick or skates anywhere near that puck on the faceoff.
So Luongo back in the net. And it's poked back to Kronwall. In for Datsyuk. Pavel Datsyuk across he goes to Zetterberg. Sends it back in front. Cleary couldn't find it. And away come the Canucks, and as they do, Luongo heads to the Vancouver bench. Sedin had to peel back as Edler was offside. And now Burrows with it. Final minute now of the period. Burrow. Edler. Bieksa with a drive. Howard the save and somehow hangs on with all kinds of traffic in front. Ryan Kesler was standing right next to Jimmy Howard, and somehow Howard made the stop.
Not easy to hang in there as a goalie when you know you're going to have guys sit right on top of you. And here comes Ryan Kesler, slides in there. And as he tries to tip, it loses his balance. But Jimmy Howard makes the save, gets the rebound. And Ryan Kesler very good at this. Willing to get right on top of the goalie, in behind the defenders, trying to front him, and still pick up pucks to tip.
Now it's Kesler against Datsyuk. Kesler on his strong side, but Datsyuk wins another faceoff. The Kaiser off the glass, but not out. Here's Bieksa with a rolling puck. To Henrik Sedin. The Kaiser steps in front of Kesler. At the line, Bieksa's shot was blocked by Datsyuk. Cleary along the wall, knocked down by Sedin. 25 seconds to go in the third. Penalty coming to Kronwall. He threw down Henrik Sedin. And so a holding penalty coming to Nick Kronwall with 25 seconds to go in the third period.
Nicholas Kronwall out in the box. One of their key guys they'd like to have out there. Another board battle. He just wraps him up, jumps on his back. And the refs are going to call it tight all the way to the finish.
So both teams have used their timeouts. 25 seconds to go.
Datsyuk too tired to stay out there right now. Can't take this face-off.
So it'll be a traditional 5-on-4 power play for Vancouver with the net empty.
Keem Anderson out there.
Sort of power play.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes.
Quincy off the face-off win. Bounces it down the ice. And icing call. So 17 seconds to go. Another face-off coming in the Detroit zone.
And that made those situations where the touch icing, because had Miller been able to beat him out with a poke, this game's over.
And some unusual players on the ice for Detroit. Joachim Anderson, Drew Miller, Kyle Quincy, and Brian Lashoff. Meantime, all the big guns are out for Vancouver. And the face-off won by Anderson again. Lashoff can't clear it. Here's Henrik Sedin, shoveling it down in front, bouncing puck, and with his blocker hand, Jimmy Howard dives out and grabs the puck a la Dominik Hasek.
Vancouver doing a nice job with puck recovery off lost draws, because they're not winning any, as Anderson snaps that straight back, but Garrison goes forward with it, gets the pressure, and then pretty good hands there by Burrows knocking it down, where Jimmy Howard sprawls on it. Take as many whistles as he needs to here.
Now 10.5 seconds to go in the third. Anderson again, another big face-off in his own zone. Joachim Anderson, a 24-year-old from Sweden. Henrik wins it back to Hamhuis. Kesler shoots, he just missed wide. Just like they drew it. And now Hamhuis' shot is blocked. The Kaiser clears it to the line, but not out. And the Detroit Red Wings hang on and win it by a final score of 2-1. The Canucks had a great chance late from Kesler, but he hammered it wide. And the Canucks lose a 1-goal game in regulation for the first time this season. 2-1 the final score. For Mike Johnson, Farhan Lalji, and all of us at TSN, I'm Gord Miller. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a presentation of TSN, Canada's sports leader. Now stand by for SportsCenter.